That is going to be a serious issue. All right, everybody, this is head-to-head cargo bike versus cargo bike. Now, this is the Velotric Packer one. It just came out. It's very recent. And we have the Aventon Abound, which has been out for a little bit and has a pretty good track record. Well, if you're wondering what's the difference between the two, since they are very similar in price, well, we're going to go over the different specs today. But not only that, we're going to take them out on the road. Well, first, we're going to put a load on each one of them. We're going to take them out on the road. We're going to drag race them. We're going to do a hill climb with each one of them. We're going to brake test them, and then we're going to see how far each one of these can go with that load on it. So let's get into it. Both of these e-bikes are class 2, which means that both of them go up to 20 miles an hour. Although the Packer one here can be unlocked to take you up to 25 miles an hour. The Packer currently sells for $18.99 and the Abound sells for $19.99. The Abound has a torque sensor and 4 levels of pedal assist, and the Packer one has a cadence sensor and 5 levels of pedal assist. Now, when I reviewed this bike, I mistakenly said that this had a torque sensor, but it does not. It has a cadence sensor. The Abound can handle riders from 4'11 to 6'3, and the Packer one here can handle riders from 5'3 to 6'6. Each bike comes in 2 colors. The Aventon Abound comes in this Polaris blue and a sage green, while the Packer one comes in this nicely colored sky blue and an indigo gray. When it comes to mileage, Velotric says that the Packer one will do 45 miles throttle only or 52 miles via pedal assist. Now, the Abound says it'll do 20 miles via throttle only and 50 miles using pedal assist. The Abound weighs 81 pounds. And the Packer only weighs 75 pounds. Now, both bikes will hold a maximum capacity of 440 pounds. You can purchase a front rack for either one of these bikes, and the Abound can hold 40 pounds on the front, and the Packer one can hold 33 pounds. The back rack on the Abound holds 140 pounds, while the back rack on the Packer one holds 176 pounds. The Packer one comes with an 8-speed transmission and trigger shifters, while the Abound has 7 speeds, but it has this twist throttle right here, making it super easy to change gears as well. Both of these bikes have a thumb throttle that's on the left-hand side. Both of these bikes have 48-volt, 750-watt rear hub motors, but the one over here on the Packer one has a peak power of 1200 watts, and the one over here on the Aventon has a sustained 750 watts of power. Both of these bikes have 48-volt batteries in it. The Abound over here has a 15 amp hour with a 720 watt out battery, and the Packer one has a 14.4 amps with 662 watt hour battery in it. Both of these bikes come with 3 amp chargers, which means you can charge either one of these up within 4 to 5 hours. For stopping power, both of these bikes have 180 millimeter rotors, while the Abound here has a 2-piston brake system. The Packer one has a 4-piston brake system. Both of these bikes have an adjustable front suspension. The Abound has 50 millimeters of play, the Packer has 80 millimeters of play, and both of them can be locked out. As you can see, there is a big difference when it comes to the tires that are on each one of these bikes. Now, the Abound has a 20 by 2.4 inch tire that is on the front and the rear, while the Packer one has a 26 by 2.4 inch tire on the front, but it has a 20 inch by 3 inch tire on the rear. Both of these bikes come with a storage compartment. I call it the glove box. The only difference is that the one here on the Packer one is lockable with a 3-digit code. Each one of these bikes have some serious unique features, such as on the Abound over here, it has a collapsible stem. You have a dropper seat post. It has a color display. You have brake lights and dual turn signals. It comes standard with footboards, and you can get panniers and back racks and things like that for this bike. When it comes to the Packer one, well, you have this adjustable stem right here, so you can adjust it however you want. It also has Apple Find My, which allows you to track your bike using your Apple iPhone in case it gets stolen or lost. There is a single color display here on the dash. It does not come standard with the footboards, but you can purchase them additionally. And these racks that they have, these baskets, come with this cover that goes all the way around. This bike also has brake lights, but it comes on every time you turn the bike on. So the brake light lights up when you turn the bike on, but there are no turn signals. Now, Velotric has not developed any panniers or anything like that, but I was able to purchase the ones from the Abound and put them on here. You had to finagle them a little bit to make it work, but we got it done. And so it is possible if you need panniers for this bike. Of course, I almost forgot to mention that, yes, each bike has a headlight on the front of it that's integrated into the battery. Now, to prevent any confusion, I do want to let you guys know that I did add some of my accessories because I do use these bikes. I added a bar end mirror on each one of these. I added my foldy lock so I can lock them up when I'm out. Now, the Velotric did come with a bell. The Abound did not, so I added one over here. And I have an extra battery for each one of these bikes. And when we take it out, we don't have any fear of how far we can go before we come back. And we'll just switch them out once we run out of power. So let's get out on the road. I got a buddy with me that he's gonna help me drag race these bikes and do all the testing and stuff. Now, he's never been on a cargo bike before, let alone with one with weight on it. So if you know me and you've seen any of my videos, I like to send some of my friends and put them on these bikes that have no experience just to see how it's gonna work out and what's gonna happen. So let's get out on the road. So I have Dan here with me. He's one, right now I put him on the Aventon Abound. He'll end up riding both bikes right now, but right now I want him to get used to feeling what a cargo bike feels like before we throw that weight on the back. That way it's not a total suicide mission, and you know, maybe he'll ride with me again in the future. All right, we have now added both bikes with 64 bottles of water. That's about 75 pounds that each bike has on it right now. Also, both bikes do have extra batteries in it, so that's an additional 8 to 9 pounds. So we are easily close to the 90-pound area because we have our camera equipment. We also have water that we're gonna drink with us and things like that. So now the real testing begins. All right, we are going to drag race right now. We're gonna do it throttle only. Here's Dan right here.
Hey.
And we're gonna see who makes it to where my 360 camera is down there. Throttle only, no pedal. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he's pulling ahead.
Got it.
He's pulling ahead.
Got it.
Oh.
This bike definitely is quicker, man.
Yeah, it's got some good speed to it. All right, let's go ahead and try it again with using pedal assist to see which one of us can make it happen. Vengeance will be mine. Now we are going to use just pedal assist only. I think I need some payback because he blew ahead of me on the first one. No throttle, pedal assist only, racing down to the Insta 360. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Come on, baby, come on, come on. Yeah, oh no, no. Oh, he beat me again, but it was pretty close.
Woo. I got up to 23.
How do you feel on this bike?
Given the weight and all the other conditions, it's actually riding better than I may have thought. I guess the one big thing that I'm still just trying to get used to is a lot of movement in the handlebars, you know?
Yeah, the balancing of the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see why, like, you know, people like these bikes. You can throw your kids on the back and then you can just, you know, you can go for a while.
Yeah.
Or for me, I use it for like picking up a bunch of groceries when I don't want to use the car, which is all the time. Like, I never want to use the car. It is time for the hill climb test, battle of the ages. Maybe not, but so we'll have the event to the right. I'll be on the left. It's going to be throttle only up the hill with this weight. You ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1, let's race.
Giddy up. Giddy up.
Oh boy. Wow. Wow, you blew me away, man.
Dude, this bike's a lot faster, man.
Yeah, it is. It's got way more power. One thing I want to point out is since these are the Aventon panniers, they designed them to where these floorboards would give support to the weight that is inside of these panniers. But since Velotric hasn't designed their own, well, these really aren't providing any support. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that if you thought that you might need these footboards to rock these panniers. You don't. We are going to do the brake test. I'm on the Velotric Packer 1, and we're going to see which one of these two stop faster. This one has a 4-piston brake system to it. We're going to go as fast as we can. We're already hitting 20 miles an hour. Was that 17 or 18? 18, right?
Honestly, I'm looking at 17 and a half. A little over 18, I'm seeing.
Nice.
By a couple inches.
All right, your turn. Oh, let's see.
Still not as good, is it?
14 feet. How are you beating me?
Should I try one more time? Was I not fast enough?
I feel like it looks like you start stopping way back here.
Am I stopping early?
Yeah.
Let me try it again. Do you want me to try it again?
Yes. Jesus, man.
Did I stop too soon?
All right, it looks like you're at 14 again, so this time I'm gonna try it. All right?
Did I stop too soon, you think, on that time? I couldn't tell. I really couldn't.
Now I'm on the Abound. I'm gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see what happens. Let's go, let's go.
$21?
That makes more sense. I am on the Abound this time. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see if it stops quicker or farther. Let's go, let's go.
20.
20.
20 exactly, basically.
See, that,
All right.
that makes more sense. We're gonna let Dan try it here since Dan's been like half-assing it the whole time and breaking before the pole.
I'm just competitive, man, you know?
Yeah, well, now we're just gonna ride around and have some fun. I think I'm gonna go get this guy some food. We're gonna stop for lunch, and then we're gonna head on out to Lakeshore Drive. We just stopped for lunch, and let's take a look right here. Strava shows that we've gone 10.16 miles. The Velotric Packer shows that we're at 10.4. I've dropped 1 bar. The Aventon Abound here, this color display is nice, but it's not that great in the direct sunlight. Looks like we are down to 55% battery power, and let's go ahead and see what it shows on the trip, and it says we're at 10.5. So everything is realistically really close together. This one seems to have dropped a lot of battery, so even though this thing's been kicking the Packer's butt, except for when it came to braking, it might really come ahead here on how far it can go. So that may be where the Packer 1 takes the lead in this review. Dan and I have made it out to Lakeshore Drive. Strava says that we've gone 13.6 miles. My bike is showing that we have gone 14 miles. What is it showing on you?
14 miles.
14 miles. So everything is matching kind of the same. I'm down to 3 bars of battery. How much battery power do you have?
I'm down to 43%.
43%.
But I was throttling too much, apparently. And
We had a discussion during lunch that I was asking him why his battery was dropping so quick, and he was throttling more than what I was throttling. So right now he's keeping the bike in touring. I'm putting the bike in, I'm leaving it in pedal assist 5, and we're gonna kind of push them out to see how far they can go before we have to re-put the batteries in and head back home. Now, to communicate, what we've been doing is been using these the Senna R1 Evo hats, and they have the ability to talk to each other, so that way we're able to stay in communication. I literally bought these helmets so that I could take my wife to work when we ride together. It allows us to talk, but these really come in clutch on days like today. He is a talker, folks. All right, so we're gonna head back out on Lakeshore Drive and see if we can wear these batteries out. Well, we've made it to a turnaround point. As you can see, Chicago's behind us. It is Lollapalooza weekend, so we have all kinds of activity going on here in Chicago. Now, Strava says we've done 22.14 miles. I'm looking over here on the Abound. It shows that we're at 14%. It also shows that we're at 22 miles. And what do you have on the Packer One?
We're at 22.2 miles and down to 1 bar.
Okay, so as you can see, these displays are pretty accurate when it comes to not much of a distance between that and Strava, but I did have a switch out. So the first part of the video, Dan here was riding the Abound, and then we switched over to the Velotric, and he immediately said that he noticed a difference. So why don't you tell me what you feel the difference was between these two bikes?
The big thing was the seat. I mean, the seat was just way more comfortable. I noticed a lot more stability in the handlebars, you know, especially with all the weight behind. And the pedal assist gave you a much bigger jump, I felt like. Those are the big things for me, I would say, that I saw.
All right, so at this point, we're going to start heading home. I know we're going to run out of battery power before we make it home, but we really didn't want to go out much farther. So we will see you next when we run out of battery and we switch them out. The Velotric Packer One is the first one to run out of battery power at 24.1 miles. The Aventon still has 5% battery power left with it. We're going to go ahead and switch this one out and then see how far we make it on the Aventon before it runs out as well. Now, this is my first time testing out the power management on the Abound, and we're down to 4% battery power. Well, I've got it on the Eco, and we're still just moving along at 14 miles an hour. And it's still pretty effortless, so I can tell that it's still giving me a lot of power. I'm not sure it's giving me all of it, but I'm still cruising at a comfortable rate. Okay, I can tell that for the amount of weight that we have on this bike, we're down to 2% battery power. We're coming up to Lollapalooza, but we're not gonna make it because I have too much weight on this bike. And we're gonna end up switching out the batteries so that I can actually get some speed and make it easier for me to make it home. Well, I say that, and now we have throttle, so let me just ride this thing out. All right, right now we're using throttle only. We're still moving. We're at 1% battery power, and we are cruising right by Lollapalooza here in Chicago on a beautiful Friday. All right, it's official. We are out of battery juice, and this thing is too much weight on the back for me to try to pedal this myself. So we're gonna go ahead and switch out the battery. I'm gonna call it, let's see how many miles we have. 26 miles. With all that weight on the back, we're going to change out the battery, and then I will give you my final thoughts when we get home. As you can see, the battery cover doesn't match because I'm using a battery from my Adventure One. And when it comes to turning on the Abound, normally you just hit the center button and it turns it on. But since I'm using an older battery, well, I'm going to have to hit the power button first, and then I can turn it on. So in the review video, well, that is not good at all. That is going to be a serious issue. This is not good. We're probably about 8 miles from home. We're gonna pop it out, put it back in, see if that actually fixes the issue. All right, please, please, please. Talk to me, please, please. Woo! We are in the game. All right, guys, that could have been catastrophe. I must have just not put it in right or something, or I didn't like whatever I did. But we are back to 100% battery power. Thank God. Woo! I'm sure that just peaked the mic, but I'm so glad we don't have to figure out how to get this bike back without any battery power. All right. Beautiful days ahead. Oh, that's good. Messed up my zipper. Oh no, I unthreaded. Oh, have you ever done that? What is going on with this bike right now? There we go. Okay. Dude, let's get home before anything else goes bad. All right, guys, we finally made it back. We have been out riding these bikes for at least a good 7 hours today. I mean, I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I think Dan did a really good job of riding these bikes, considering he'd never ridden a cargo bike before, let alone an electric cargo bike, and one with a bunch of weight on the back. Now, when it came to distance, well, the Velotric tapped out first. It tapped out at 24 miles. The Abound made it to 26 miles before we had to replace the battery. And as you saw, we almost had a huge trouble problem making it back, but this battery did end up working with this bike, so that is a great thing. Now, Dan got a chance to ride both of these bikes, and I guess we're going to find out his opinion on, like, I don't know, out of these two, which one did you prefer the most and why?
I would probably go with the Packer. I think the seat was way more comfortable after riding that for about 10, 12 miles or so. It just, sitting on this afterwards, it was just a huge difference.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
After riding that one and then switching over to this one, the seat on that is much more comfortable. Is that it? Was that the only reason?
I also, the handlebars just felt more solid, especially with the weight. I was having a little more difficulty controlling the handlebars. Although, you know, it wasn't like too difficult, but it was just a little easier. The Aventon was quicker though, I thought, from what I remember. I mean, it was beating you uphill. It was beating, like, you know, it was just, well, it's, you know, the bike, you know, I mean, it's just, it's.
No, it's a miniature beast.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's faster. It pulls up the hill harder. It goes a little bit farther, you know, so I get it. I get why you feel that. So that's why some people might be surprised that you chose the Packer one over that. And as you told me, it's really just about comfort.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, you know, what kind of ride you're looking for and like how you want to ride. If you're going for speed, I mean, you probably don't want to go with this one. If you want something a little sturdier and a little more comfortable, to me, you know, that would be more important, although you can always change out the seat, like you said, and stuff like that. You know, it's already getting up to 20 miles an hour, but if you want a little more speed, yeah, this one might not be right for you, right?
You're right. Now, I didn't unlock that bike, so that bike can do up to 25 miles an hour. I wanted to keep them, you know, level to level. It is funny though, this bike would do like 22 miles an hour if you notice that, and I haven't changed the maximum speed limit on this bike at all. Now, if you guys are interested in either one of these bikes, whether it be the Aventon Abound or the Velotric Packer 1, please go ahead, click my link down below. That'll take you to either one of those websites. And if you do purchase one of the bikes, well, that actually helps the channel a little bit. But if you don't, that's also fine, because it does let Velotric and Aventon know that you value my videos. So, I mean, that's it. I really can't think of anything else that we can go over to compare these bikes to each other. And I thank you for watching. So until I see you again, enjoy the ride.